Hello, this is Amberly, and welcome to Transmuting Chaos. And today we have Silviu with us, and we wanted to do our analysis on this movie called The Brand New Testament. And welcome, Silviu.
Thank you for having me, Emily. Pleasure to be on.
I never know how to open. It sounds like a
No,
show
you're
or
fine.
something.
Is it too bright? Should I? Can you see me all right?
Yeah, I can see fine.
Is that better? It's still
Hold
bright, but
on.
I just literally closed the blinds.
Yep.
Or play. Or let's move on.
I have to, this is hard to do because you have to like switch back and forth when you're playing something. So, do you want to explain what the movie is a little bit, Sylvia?
Yeah. It's a great movie. I'm glad you recommended it to me. The Brand New Testament. And you may think, oh, it's religious. It's about the New Testament and Jesus, and yeah, that's part of it. But it's not like uh, typical Christian movies. It's actually very Gnostic in its tone, and a lot of movies actually are this way. And the first Christians were actually probably more Gnostics, or the first Gnostics were very Christian. Actually, that may have been the true belief system that they embodied. And what this movie shows is that story, kind of this narcissistic father, right? The God of the Bible that we call the Father, or that they call the Father, who creates this reality for the sheer purpose of avoiding its own pain, its own loneliness, its own trauma, because it was born in trauma, right? And even now that I think about it, uh, when a woman gives birth, she experiences traumatic pains, right? It's a medical term, right? There was medical trauma or something like that. So it was born in this kind of trauma, in this aborted state, according to the Gnostics, and it's in pain. So the only thing it knows is pain. It's not really going to show love. And he basically creates this reality with his computer to sort of show us that it's largely AI that we're experiencing. And he also has a wife who seems to be, it's Gnostic, but you can say that these Gnostics were also very heavily intertwined with the Anunnaki story, because they both have a daughter named Ea, and as we'll see throughout the video, we'll decode her. She seems to be the wife of Enki in Anunnaki folklore, and of course Jesus is her brother somehow in all this. So maybe Ea is the brother or the sister of Enki. We'll see when we look into a little bit more. But Jesus is involved. He's the son. She goes out and gets six more disciples, sorry, to write the brand new testament and effectively change this matrix reality that has been created by our Father, to create a sort of reset and make the world a better place. She doesn't really know that to begin with. She just goes out and does her thing. She wants to escape her narcissistic father, so she goes into his world and she finds peace.
I was thinking about the 18 last night, and that breaks down to 369 and also 666.
Yes, yep,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah,
So, and
get
the
even weirder.
reality at the end of this movie that they end up in is basically where we're at now, but then everybody sees that it's a simulation and everybody's just fine with it.
Right, just like in the movie Free Guy, right? The guy,
Right.
they're like, "Oh, it's the Matrix. It broke down." Or
Yeah. Oh, cool. Now we have access to it, you know?
yeah,
And it's like, yeah, but you're still in it. You're still playing.
yeah. Or an adjustment bureau, or oh, we created our own fate. Now we created our own timeline, or we changed. We convinced the creator of this reality to change the timeline so we could be together. But
Right.
they're still, at the sort of at the mercy of that creator. Not to say that that's necessarily a bad thing, right? If we do come from a place of source realms, to say that we need to be complete individuals is obviously very egoic, and we have our own complete sovereignty. That it's implying you don't trust anything. But we have to also be aware of the potential manipulation that can arise from simply giving your sovereignty away, especially to a creator that is very much, like we'll see in this movie, narcissistic, and you've been deceived into thinking that is our true creator.
Well, I think the whole concept of possession and owning is at the core of why we have these issues, because this being is it's so dependent on everything that it's created, like this whole system, to have energy, and it sees that as power. So like owning something, forcing it to stay in line and do exactly what you want for your motives, is the whole basis basically of Satanism, like do as thou wilt without any regards for anything around you.
Yeah, completely agree. Yeah, become like gods. So you become like a god. It's projection, right? That if we look at it, it's all the same objectives that this being was trying to achieve. Uh, Potentially when it was separated, or when it chose to have the separation with the world that's been created, right? Because the common tale of Lucifer is that it fell because it wanted to be God, and you can't really be God in God's world. You have to go and create your own little bubble, right, where you're God and everyone else thinks you're God, and then you kind of project that belief system onto the other beings to give them a little bit of hope. Well, you can be God too, like me. See, I'm God. I'm powerful. I can do whatever I want whenever I want. Similar to Westworld, right? Go into Westworld and do whatever you want. There's no consequences. It's just a game. Well,
Right. Do
it
you
can be
need
interpreted.
to move, or
No, I'm fine.
oh, okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Know that you told me that you were not going to be able to do it long because people were coming back, but
Yeah, I had to move into a living room because my brother's sleeping, so it's fine.
oh.
No worries.
But yeah, and the whole concept of God is twisted as well, is like this ultimate power that has reign over everybody. And that's not even power. Being able to if you look at nature, the way that it works, yes, it's very powerful, but it's not chaotic because everything is free and doing its own thing. And so naturally it works together and works out, right?
Yeah.
When you have a system that is suffocating people into a certain everything into a certain direction, we can see that it doesn't work because it's only out for its motive and not letting the freedom of everything else work to where it would be harmonious. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, no, I agree. The power, true power, comes from being able to let others have power, right? Because your
right,
power is in being vulnerable.
right. And to let go, what you don't you can only control what's inside of you.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm going to start this one part and then we'll watch it until a few minutes of it and then discuss that.
Sweet.
Oh, where am I?
Oh yeah, there's some train symbolism in this, isn't there? I forgot about that.
I think so. I hope it's not on mute. Oh, yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
y a quelque chose qui ne va pas.
Alors, il a créé l'homme à son image. Avec lui, il pouvait faire tout ce qu'il voulait.
Ah, beaucoup mieux ça. Beaucoup mieux.
Enoch engendra Irad, Irad engendra Mehujael, Mehujael engendra Méthuscaël, Méthuscaël engendra Lémec, etc., etc. C'est là que ça a vraiment commencé. Il les a montés les uns contre les autres, en son nom. Voilà. Maintenant, vous savez exactement comment ça s'est passé. Ça, c'est moi. Je m'appelle Ea. Ça, c'est l'endroit où je suis née et où je suis restée enfermée pendant 10 ans. Pas de porte d'entrée, ni de porte de sortie. Appartement 3 chambres, cuisine équipée et buanderie. Et le bureau de mon père, où on n'a pas le droit de rentrer. À la télé, interdit de regarder autre chose que le sport. Ça, c'est ma mère. C'est une pauvre femme, 100% certifiée ramollie. Elle dit jamais rien. Quand elle ne brode pas les fleurs, elle regarde sa collection de joueurs de baseball.
Ça fait 18. Complet.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting that she's putting on eyeliner because in the Nag Hammadi it specifically talks about how the Archon taught us how to use eyeliner.
Really?
And
Where?
In the Nag Hammadi, I'll send you the exact page that it's on, but it says that the Archons brought us astrology, taught us how to use herbs, taught us how to use eyeliner. And then there were like 3 other things, but all of that is and makeup or whatever, but that's because with the rulers came death, came the cycle of life and death. So these are all things that we kind of use to suppress and to figure out how to manipulate the energy here.
Mm-hmm. Now, there's an interesting thing at the beginning where he's looking through his binoculars outside. I didn't catch that part. I thought there was no outside. I thought all that existed was the apartment because they couldn't leave.
Oh yeah.
Except through, as we find out, through the washing machine. I'm. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, my image is buffering a little bit, but he's looking outside, so that implies that they're in the same reality almost,
Yep.
just maybe overlaid, kind of like we
Well,
know
that's
with
exactly what we have
dimensions.
here.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
the demiurge is in the astral and we're here together, but it's two different realities, you know? So
Right.
weird.
Yeah, and they're watching sports. Very interesting that they only watch sports. Um, you can say entertainment. This would have made more sense if they were allowed to watch movies too, but essentially they're watching their creation, right? The outside world, let's say,
Well,
as
and
their
that's all that
entertainment.
the AI is that's all that it can do is like play games and figure out how to win. That's it. That's all that it's programmed to do.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. And it's the mother in this, she's creating all the time. She's like sewing and doing things like that, like Sophia.
Yeah, very interesting. We'll have to decode her obsession with baseball because that's, as we saw, the 18 was big, and that's why she goes out and then goes to get 6 more disciples on top of the 12 disciples Jesus already has.
Right.
So very interesting about baseball. Everything to do with ball. The ball games are all surrounding ball, that entity.
Yeah.
But why specifically baseball? I guess because of the Freemasonic nature behind it, potentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Probably the most
the
Freemasonic
33
game.
and
Yeah. I
yeah.
think it has a lot to do with the 137 as well that you mentioned. Forgot how. I
What?
don't know much about baseball. It has something to do with the 137. I know Hidden America on Twitter decoded it. I believe, I don't know, there's 11 innings or something. I don't know much about baseball at all. But 137 would be equal to 11, and 137 is a hugely occulted number.
Well, it's
especially in Freemasonry.
electromagnetic field.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
There was another part that I just. Oh, and did you notice like how the books didn't have anything written in them because they hadn't bitten the apple yet, so they didn't have any knowledge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they created the animals first, like it says in the Bible. First, God made the land and the animals, right? Now, interesting. I was just looking up EA Sports. It's in the game.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
That is so funny.
So Aya doesn't even seem like she's a woman. It seems like it's a he. It says he is also significant in Akkadian mythology as the father of Marduk, the national god of Babylonia. He is said to be the ruler of the water, Aya's water, whereas Enki, his counterpart, is the ruler of the land, associated with semen and fertility.
That's interesting.
According to another Sumerian myth, Enki is the creator, having devised men as slaves to the gods. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, because if you look at the mythology around Osiris, his penis was thrown into the Nile River and it stayed there, and that's like his semen is running through the water now. And yeah, and I kind of like associate that also with the energy, like how the energy was anchored here. Like if you have a battery and you cut it in half, you throw one up into the sky, and then the positive you would throw down here into the water. It kind of like anchors everything.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Like a grounding force.
Right.
That's why they call it the ground.
Yeah.
Or maybe they call it grounding because of the ground. I don't know. But yeah, so it's I was listening to someone else describe it, but they were saying Enlil was given administration over the earth, maybe by Enki or by Anu, and they were saying that Enlil is the devil and Enki is the good guy, right? Kind of like the savior, the Jesus archetype. Um, Enki, Thoth, Hermes, they all embody like power to the people through knowledge type of thing, whereas Enlil is more about maybe hidden in the darkness type of thing, and that's where we get Satan from, which is Set, which is darkness. So if you watch a lot of Jordan Maxwell, he breaks this down as it's always been a fight between light and darkness, right? Light, Enki, Lucifer, Jesus, maybe, and darkness, Satan, Enlil, Set, right? Lack of knowledge, ignorance, truth versus ignorance. Even though these beings do not seem to be too keen on truth, but it's very interesting to notice the archetypes, and then we see it throughout symbolism in the world, as Enki being the snake being wise, and Enlil being the eagle representing war and control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, also, I mean, the snake has so many different meanings to it. But another one would be, like a snake hypnotizes its prey.
Yep.
And that's what they do. They use magic to hypnotize people.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't say it was good. I just said it was wise or knowledgeable.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, let me. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
Let's move on. No, you go ahead. You're fine.
Let's play this other part of where she meets her brother.
Yes.
Wait, where is it? 16.
Hé, j'y sais.
Salut, petite sœur.
Salut, j'y sais. J'ai besoin de toi. Faut que je me tire d'ici.
Je te comprends. Qu'est-ce qu'elle t'a dit, maman?
Bah, elle ose rien dire. Elle a peur de s'en prendre une.
Faudrait qu'elle arrête d'avoir peur et qu'elle se réveille, quoi.
Je voudrais faire un truc comme toi. Me tirer d'ici, trouver des apôtres pour me filer un coup de main.
Une bonne idée, ça, les apôtres. Moi, j'avais essayé avec 12, mais c'était un peu chaud. Je m'étais dit que 12, c'était le bon nombre, comme les joueurs de hockey. Ils sont 12. Mais maman, c'est 18. Maman, elle dit que le baseball, ça se joue à 18.
Mais il en faudrait combien alors des apôtres?
Essaye 6. Avec les 12 miens, ça fera 18. Comme les joueurs de baseball de maman.
Mais comment on les choisit, les apôtres?
Ça, tu fais au feeling. On te demandera jamais de te justifier. Hein. T'en prends 6 au hasard dans les fiches de papa. Tu leur fais un petit miracle et c'est parti. Hein.
Je sais pas faire de vrais miracles, moi.
Tu leur fais un tout petit miracle. Comme tu sais les faire. Et puis après, avec tes 6 apôtres, t'écris un tout nouveau testament.
Pourquoi? J'ai pas envie qu'on parle de moi.
Tu les fais parler d'eux-mêmes. Un tout nouveau testament où c'est les apôtres qui parlent d'eux-mêmes. Ce serait vachement tout nouveau, ça.
En plus, tu sais que je sais pas bien écrire.
Mais tu trouves quelqu'un qui sait écrire? Tu crois quoi? Le mien, je l'écris tout seul ou quoi? Hé, pour sortir, j'ai hacké le lave-linge. Tu mets sur linge synthétique, tu tournes à 40 degrés et ce rage 1200 tours. Ça ouvre un passage et en quelques heures t'es dehors.
Merci, j'y sais, c'est trop cool.
Hé, oublie pas, papa, sans son ordi, il est rien.
Can you go back just a little bit to the settings that he put the washing machine on?
Yeah, the synthetic fiber. I just saw that too.
Fiche de papa, tu leur fais un petit miracle et c'est parti. Hein.
Je sais pas faire de vrais miracles, moi.
Tu leur fais un tout petit miracle. Comme tu sais les faire. Et puis après, avec tes 6 apôtres, t'écris un tout nouveau testament.
Sorry, it's hard to
Pourquoi?
get.
J'ai pas envie qu'on parle de
No,
moi.
you're fine.
Tu les fais parler d'eux-mêmes.
You can also use your arrow
Un
keys.
tout nouveau testament.
It
Oh.
takes
C'est les
about
apôtres
5
qui parlent
seconds.
d'eux-mêmes. Ce serait vachement tout nouveau, ça.
En plus, tu sais que je sais pas bien écrire.
Mais tu trouves quelqu'un qui sait écrire? Tu crois quoi? Le mien, je l'écris tout seul ou quoi? Hé, pour sortir, j'ai hacké le lave-linge. Tu mets sur linge synthétique, tu tournes à 40 degrés et ce rage 1200 tours. Ça ouvre un passage et en quelques heures t'es dehors.
Follow up on your RPMs. Yeah, so if you press your arrow key on your computer, it'll set it back.
Oh, okay.
Try to save it.
I am
See,
so bad with this stuff. It's not
you're
even
fine.
funny. Yeah, I
See,
saw that too. When I rewatched it the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, because to me, this whole thing is like exactly what they're trying to do, like bring us into this new reset. That's what I got out of this movie.
yep, that's what I got too. Yep,
Yeah.
100%. So 40 degrees and 1200 RPMs. 1200 could represent a new, the 12 months. It could also represent a whole cycle around the zodiac.
Yeah.
And then the 40 degrees reminds me of the pyramids, of how their shafts are exiting at 40 degrees, or the chambers.
Oh, to Sirius or pointing to Sirius?
Yeah, it points to Sirius, right? Yeah.
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 Yeah, it
But I
probably does
know,
have something to do with the Sirius alignment and the astrological wheel.
yeah, and if the washing machine is a way of going between worlds, and I think the pyramids were also used to do the same kind of like consciousness hopping, body
Yep.
hopping, whatever. That they
Yep.
go from the astral, physical, astral, and they would need a lot of electricity or electromagnetism to do that, and that's why the pyramids are built on top of these aquifers, similar to Tesla's coil.
Yep.
From what I've researched, at least. I don't know for sure.
Exactly. And the motion of the water pushing it up and down, if you think about energy just being trapped inside of this pyramid, and then that like electric bond going up and down like that. So it would like, they probably had a cap or something that they put on it and then would open
Right.
it like at a certain time.
Yeah, the capstone. I wonder if they built up the energy, and then you could just like release the cap and just shoot it.
Yeah.
Or if it just goes straight through it because it was a conductor.
Or at the certain time, whenever Sirius was matched up exactly to that little opening there, that probably made some kind of like magnetic bond where it would just shoot straight into the sarcophagus.
No, okay. I see.
I always wondered if they were using like children in that though, because that sarcophagus is like little and children are like the pure conduit, you know?
Yep, that makes sense. There's a lot of, from what I've heard, there's a lot of negative satanic ritual energy surrounding the pyramids. So
Yeah.
likely
And, you
people were
know,
sacrificed. Probably
people, that's another like, you know, one that people do not like you talking about, but in Armana, where Akhenaten moved everybody to. You know what I'm talking about? They moved from Memphis to Armana. They moved the capital when he was
Oh,
pharaoh.
yeah. I remember something about that. Yeah, you're right.
So, and you know, the new age, they're like, oh, that's when creativity and everything just flourished and, you know, everything was so great. Well, they found a huge cemetery there filled with just children.
Oh, wow. They
So,
actually
I
buried
mean,
them too?
huh?
They actually ended up burying them too?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
They actually ended up giving them a proper burial too? That was nice
Oh,
of them.
yeah, exactly. But I think that was to doing a big ritual when they moved there, you know, a sacrifice to that place.
That would be a
But
fair
people, you know,
interpretation.
it's like, what do you think all of these like mummified animals and stuff? Like that's not a loving, peaceful society. That's a death cult.
Yeah, especially the whole bringing Osiris back from the dead type of thing,
Uh-huh.
which could also be an allusion to Saturn. Osiris being connected to Saturn, the sun that had died, and now they're trying to resurrect.
Yeah. And I was watching, well, Rebellious Meat Puppet did something about like Tartarus in a video, and how Tartarus is hell. And it's like, and if you think of like tartar on your teeth or whatever, it's like the it's like the waste,
The waste,
that,
yeah, exactly.
like a layer of waste. And that's what this place feels like. Like during the fall, it was more like a crash of a system. And this is all the trash. Like we're in the layer of the trash. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, in the book, Can You Stand the Truth? It describes the whole black hole as the waste realm, kind of like the waste of creation, which I'm not even sure how that happens. But even if you think about like a black hole, it's like a waste basket. It's like you throw it in the black hole, it disappears supposedly.
Yeah, the void.
The void, yeah, exactly.
That's where I dumped all of my demons. I did. I went there and I dumped a whole bunch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, this, if it's waste, it doesn't have spirit, or I don't know. It's kind of like a star that blew up. It's just dust. But in order to re-energize it, you need energy, or you need spirit. So that this being was able to tie itself kind of like to this tree that described as a tree, right? Each tree seems to be a realm, similar to Norse mythology. And this tree was a tree of waste, and by infusing itself with spirit got diluted, and it became this energy, rather.
Right. And if you think about like divine, if you divine a grape, if you take it off of the vine, it shrivels up and starts to die.
It's the divine, yeah, it's been divined.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the concept of family seems to be very used, or very integral to the source realms. Like things are part of a system, an ecosystem, a tree, a vine. We're all brothers and sisters. Doesn't mean we're all united like at the seams, but hey, I can have my individuality, but I know you're my brother and my sister and this and that. But when you separate yourself from the vine, from the family, now all of a sudden you're not my brother and sister. I don't care about you, and I'm over here, and I'm divine. I'm a god. I'm autonomous.
Yeah.
So interesting concept to play with.
I mean, all you have to do to test that theory is to start talking about the things that we are, and people like, they don't, I think the ego makes people so grounded in their belief, and when you try to stop and think of anything just a little bit different than what you've been told to believe your entire life, it makes you hate that other person instead of actually just, oh, maybe I should look at it a little bit different. It's not going to hurt me to like take a look at it.
Well, it's weird that it's specifically designed that way to keep us in programs rather than always allowing us to learn more. So there goes the idea that we're here to learn things, because the very ego that we're given puts us in a fight or flight state the moment that our current programs are challenged, right? So learning is only possible from ages of 0 to 7, it seems, because that's when we're the most receptive. Otherwise, from then on, it becomes ego, and everything I've learned 0 to 7, do not try and challenge that, because I will fight you. So it doesn't seem like the ego
0 to 7, you're also playing a lot of the time, which I think has everything to do with the learning. When you're playing and you're learning while you're playing.
Exactly. Yeah. Where you're not in boot camp fighting battles, you're literally just enjoying yourself playing,
right?
Using that creativity that you naturally have.
Yeah.
So the notion that we have to come here and fight and do battles and have challenges and all these things because it provides lessons, well, it doesn't even suit the very system that we have here in terms of how we actually learn.
Exactly. Okay, I'm gonna play this part. I guess I'll show a little bit where she's going through the washing machine. Should I
Yeah,
take it back to the part?
Did he show his computer yet?
Oh,
She-
no. Oh, no.
If
Hold
she
on.
goes in and does her thing.
Here we go.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right, so he's an abusive father, drinks all the time, and has this computer place. And these are all the files of everyone on Earth. The Akashic records, maybe?
Yeah. Yep.
Her eye always seems to be covered, from what I noticed.
Yep. I'm going to let it play for like 2 minutes, but I'm still here.
Yeah, sounds good. Uh-oh, explicit content alert. Everyone cover your eyes.
What?
No, I just warned your viewers to cover their eyes in case of explicit content.
Oh. Well, I put everything not for children anyways.
Oh, perfect.
It's funny that she has all the codes.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting, I forgot about that.
Je sais.
T'as les fiches?
Ouais, j'ai balancé les dates du décès de tout le monde.
Ouh, il va perdre toute crédibilité, là, le père. Il va être furax. C'est une super idée. Rendre aux hommes la conscience de leur propre mort. Outil.
And this reminds me a lot of like the portals and then the like wormholes that you see in the astral.
Yep. What else does it remind you of? To the astral from here.
Yeah. I don't.
Oh, kind of like NDEs. I think it's very
Oh,
similar.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Like the tunnel of light.
The tunnel, yeah.
Yeah.
Il est encore impossible de savoir s'il s'agit d'un canular ou si ces fameuses dates de décès se confirment. Qui peut envoyer ça, qui peut connaître la date de la mort des gens.
I've only seen it like while I'm awake, astral traveling, but yeah.
Comme par exemple ce frigidaire tombé
Yeah, it's actually not that common,
du décompte de la victime.
but still enough to be important.
Right.
And like you said, it does seem like a wormhole, like you're traveling space, which would mean the astrals are part of space.
Mm-hmm.
C'est un jour spécial pour ce technicien de surface. Du jour au lendemain, il est devenu l'homme qui vivra le plus longtemps au monde.
102 ans à vivre, mec! De record!
Sur les réseaux sociaux, également ceci.
Salut, je m'appelle Kevin, 62 ans à
This
vivre.
guy's hilarious.
62.
I know.
No way.
Péchou, péchou.
Même si la régénération des cellules est programmée, la longueur de la vie dépend de facteurs imprévisibles, aléatoires. Elle restera toujours impossible à déterminer.
12 ans et 4 mois. Et vous?
64 jours. C'est pas juste. Ça fait des années que je m'occupe de vous et vous allez vivre plus longtemps que moi.
Léa.
Depuis l'annonce de ce matin, beaucoup de gens ne se sont pas rendus à leur travail. Qu'allons-nous faire du reste de notre vie est la question la plus fréquente sur les réseaux sociaux.
Qu'est-ce que vous allez changer? Je crois que je vais rien changer. Je vais continuer comme avant.
Okay, I'm gonna fast forward it to that part because
Okay.
it's a while down here.
Yeah. Would you want to know when you die?
What?
So would you want to know your death date?
No, I wouldn't. And this looks a lot like that movie, that Stephen King movie.
The Shining?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's what I was telling you about, how he smells.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And he takes that with him to find her.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder if it's because they're trying to portray a dog.
Yeah.
Dog is God backwards.
Yep. And the demiurge always uses like a puppy dog. That's
really?
a lot. Yeah. And he's supposedly, I don't know why they didn't make him blind in this, but he can smell.
Oh, okay. No, bats aren't blind. Oh, and bats look like dogs.
Yeah.
They have like puppy faces.
Yep. And they use echolocation. They don't, yeah. She is a cute little girl, though.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Now I see it. Okay.
Yep.
There it is.
So she puts her hands in a triangle and then puts her eye in there and then comes out to the world. And there's that ambulance there too. So it's showing that this is like a chaotic place.
Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, kind of like she's passed through the prism of whatever the construct to get to the light hologram.
Right.
Huh. She seems sweet and innocent, though. Doesn't like seem she has bad intentions for anyone. It's just that.
No, and she's very like kind of like a tomboy, you know.
Yeah, tomboyish.
So you have the kind of androgynous thing, but I think that's more the correct meaning of that.
Yeah.
From, you know what I mean? Not like actually physically androgynous, but more a combination of, you know,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like I am. I've always been kind of a tomboy, but I'm very girly.
Yeah, nice. I see it in you. Yeah, it's they try to make it physical. They always pervert things and make people think it's supposed to be one way, and then then smart people realize no, it's not supposed to be like this, but really it is supposed to be like that, just not in that form. So it's a double reverse psychology that's very, very sophisticated, in my opinion. They know exactly what they're doing.
Well, because they use it for magic, and that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
They're not tapping into their own power. They're using it as a outer form of energy manipulation and mind control.
Yes. Yeah. The only thing they can manipulate is the ego. So if they split that ego into multiple parts, then you have multiple personalities that you can then take advantage of, which will require multiple fragments of that soul spirit essence to then power.
Yeah. That's a great way of seeing exactly what they're doing.
I try to know thy enemy.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's what the demiurge is. It's just fragments of itself trying to search for itself, but it can't handle looking in the mirror at itself, you know?
Yeah. It's like subconsciously doing it, not realizing what it really wants, maybe.
Right. Or not. I think fear is what drives it. Like,
yeah, fear of what?
Not understanding itself and not knowing. I mean, it's the same thing as us, like not understanding where we're really from. And
yeah, I think we can notice everything about our personality or matrix selves in the demiurge. A lot of it is fear of dying, right? The constant fight for survival, when's our next meal type of thing.
Yeah.
And then the fear of being with ourselves wholly, of actually liking ourselves and who we are. And healing comes in really letting go of all that, letting go and accepting everything.
Yep.
Because everything here seems to eat. Everything is eating something, including the whole system. The whole system is eating itself.
Well, and I think that's probably, instead of going into another reset, I think this place probably will just eat itself now.
Like into extinction?
Huh?
Into extinction, you're saying?
No, I mean just until it's only spirit left, because spirit's the only thing that can stay forever, you know?
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, even like the concept of waste, like in the eternal source realm, how do you not have a way of dealing with waste, or how is there even waste allowed to exist? I don't know. That seems weird. I get it here, like it's waste, and it should decompose naturally into, I don't know, the soil, unless it's plastic. That takes way too long.
Right. Yeah, I mean the whole entire concept that we even have to eat or anything like that is just really
dirty.
Yeah. Okay, was there anything like in the middle that we need? I mean, I don't want to go through the whole entire movie because I know that you have to get going. But
in the middle, no. Was there a train part? I don't remember if there was a train part or not. the train seems to be very much used for traveling, specifically in between the astrals, but I've seen it also from astral to physical. For example, in Westworld, for example, in The Good Place, for example, in the movie Defending Your Life, there was a train at the end. In The Matrix as well. The guy created the train realm and he has power over it. Not even the architect can rule over it.
Was that in the new one?
That's in the first Matrix movie.
Oh, I don't remember that part.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I
don't think there's anything in the middle, to be honest, though.
Yeah, I think
she just ends up meeting the 6 disciples. She chooses each one of them. They're all equally traumatized. They're all equally unfulfilled in some way. But upon this realization of their death, they start becoming more fulfilled.
And then
time of death.
Right. And then this little boy that she meets, he wants to like wear a dress, and his mom is what is that thing? Munchausen syndrome or something, where she like makes him go to the doctor all the time.
Yeah, she constantly thinks something's wrong with him. Yeah, she's scared. She's projecting her own insecurities onto him.
But she actually poisons him. Like she gives him stuff to. Yeah, it's terrible. But
it's
then
funny
he wants to.
She's more feminine. He becomes more feminine. She's like more masculine.
Right. So there you have that concept again. But she's not like playing it out, but he is like physically, you know?
Yeah.
And I thought it was weird, like how there's a lot of things in this movie that are just, I mean, you can see the immorality of our world playing out. Like these two kids are kind of like romantic and doing their own thing and like telling, doing everything. Like he sells all the furniture from his house without his parents' permission to like go on this trip and everything. And it's like, that's being pushed so much now to just let your kids do whatever they want,
Yeah. I looked into baseball a little bit. It seems to equal love and the sun in English, gematria. So you can see maybe we wanted to make it like baseball because it resembles love and the sun being like SUN. Let me see. Let me search hockey real quick.
I want to show the part where she walks on water.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hockey has to do with water and soul. Huh. Interesting, you just said that. Oh, and reset. And satanic. Okay.
Okay. Is this the part? Or wait.
Yeah, right here. Yep.
Okay.
Wait, no.
No, she was with that other guy, right?
Him and her and the writer, and they walk away from her dad.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, here it is.
Oui, parce que ta mère aime le baseball.
Whoa, why are we in?
Fout du baseball.
Hold on. I don't know why I have like. Why did the subtitles go to Korean?
T'as toujours mieux aimé ta mère que moi.
Oh my gosh. I have no idea.
La grue blanche. Je l'ai vu. La fureur du dragon. L'éléphant fourbe.
Laisse tomber, Victor. On y va. Donne-moi la main.
Oh, and in the beginning, she's like at the dinner table with him, and she can move. She can move things with her mind, and he can't do anything like that. I don't know what happened to the
Yeah,
closed
interesting. Interesting. Are they suggesting that the kid and Jesus are not of this guy? I wonder.
I think that, yeah, because I don't know what the mom can do.
And the mom
And-
seems to be different as well, yeah.
But
Which, by the way, the mom seems to embody Sophia, even though she's quiet or isn't allowed to say anything. He basically has control over her. But if Sophia represents Isis, and back to the Sumerians with the Anu and Tiamat type of thing. Well, Isis was the wife of Osiris, but then also his mother through Horus, because Horus was said to be the resurrection of Osiris. So she was both potentially the wife and the mother of Demiurge.
oh, yeah, I don't know. That always like weirded me out. Why?
Yeah.
But that's why they do what they do. They try to keep the blood in the same family, but it actually causes mental illness, you know?
Yeah. But then it also implies that she's hanging on to this creation maybe, and instead of trying to let go of it, she's trying to fix it, trying to make it better, which is kind of what happens at the end of the movie, right? Not really telling people, hey, you're in the false creation.
Oh, right. And the mom is kind of like ditzy, you know what I mean? She's like mentally not all there, just like the demiurge.
Yeah, true.
Just in a different way. She's nicer, but she's just kind of like, oh.
Yeah, you kind of have to be to accept that type of behavior. Maybe she was traumatized herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it also alludes to if they're doing that, trying to keep the it alludes to them actually being physical or had been at some time, because the blood is a very important issue. And in the Nag Hammadi, it says that the demiurge created our mind and our marrow, and the marrow is what creates our blood. So, yeah. And if you look at DNA, it's like a snake.
Yep.
And that's what is like it's like a binding system to keep it running through the AI, the program.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we were talking earlier, the DNA is a fractal of the whole universe. I think the whole system that we're in. It's a black hole, wormhole, spiral staircase, Fibonacci, whatever spiral.
Yeah, the Jacob's ladder thing.
Jacob's ladder.
Yeah.
The skeleton, same thing. The spine. Everything is all right here. The codes are everywhere.
Yeah, they are.
Same codes over and over again.
Okay, so I don't know what happened to the closed captioning, but we'll play the end part of this.
Okay. We'll just describe it.
Right.
Yeah. All right, so everybody's gone here, and she's the only one left in the house. She finds the computer, which somehow she also knows how to work.
Right. She has the codes too.
Yeah. Oh, introduce your personal code.
Everybody has the codes, but he's the only one that had the key, which is interesting. Oh, she put in 18.
Oh, right. That was a personal code, so it seems to be personal to everyone in the system. Which kind of is like the universe, in my opinion. It's a mirror.
Yeah.
Which reflects you back to yourself.
pas moi. Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé?
And they're getting all this information through their phone, you know? Like it's like the
Yeah.
astral and our world connection, like we talk about a
Wi-Fi.
lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cellular, Wi-Fi, whatever. So everything just got reset, and now she's redesigning it.
This part cracks me up because I used to love playing with those things. Like patterns on Adobe.
Oh yeah. I do that with Canva.
Yeah.
Whenever I was making my like YouTube backgrounds or things like that. Oh, this is funny. I just watched a TikTok of like the sky changing or splitting. People were showing videos of that.
I think it's very possible something like this could happen any day.
Well, if it does, at least have this French music in the background. It's very beautiful. So this would resemble the return of the feminine. She is now taking it over and making everything pretty and beautiful.
And it's trying to show like the creative side, but also this is not, it's still a program. It's not anything new. It's not really a creation.
Yeah. And things always start out beautiful and they always get perverted in the end. You know, there's problems with patriarchy. There's problems with matriarchy. Patriarchy becomes too controlling. Matriarchy becomes too chaotic. There's no direction.
There's problems with hierarchy.
Problems with hierarchy in general. Exactly.
Yep.
Still a hierarchy. So whether you worship the guy or the woman, it's no different.
Yeah, it's the whole worship energy, everything that brings.
Yeah.
Like there's hierarchy in nature, but they don't like worship them. You know what I mean? Well, I guess they do bring them like special things or whatever, but
hierarchy begets fighting. It begets friction and life and death and all that.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. All the books have been filled.
Yeah, but with pictures. Just like what they're trying to do, like take our language away. Like they don't want kids to know how to write cursive anymore.
Yeah.
And just
this part was really weird.
Chérie.
Ugh.
What was the point of adding this? Making everybody feminine now.
Yep.
Tu ne t'épilerais pas les jambes?
See, they always want you picking a side.
What?
It's always about picking sides. No, man bad, woman good.
Right.
Now we must all be women. Okay. We still black or white, white or black. Just pick a side, doesn't matter. Play our game. And this was ironic. He has to make the washing machine.
Did it show? No, I guess not. Well, what? I was looking for, hold on. I was looking for the older lady that hooks up with the ape, the gorilla.
Oh yeah, that was before that, yeah.
And then they have a baby, but it's a human baby. So yeah, it has like bestiality, all this stuff in it that's just going to, you know, they want accepted as normal.
We're all one, so
yeah, we're all one.
That ape has a soul, supposedly. So go sleep with the ape.
Yeah, the first time I watched that, by the time I got to the end of it, I was just like, oh, I can't take anymore. But it is it's a movie that shows you exactly at least what their mentality is, you know, and their outlook on Gnosticism.
Yeah. I think that's why it's important to be aware of such things, because your mentality could very well be aligning with their mentality. And you may think, no, it's great, but just look what they're doing. Oh, right. Because, you know, so-and-so painted this figure as good, they're, you know, hiding it, whatever, they were secretly worshiping it actually, and look, it's actually this. So that must mean it's good, because it wasn't their true meaning, it was just occulted. Okay, but let's look at the people that were worshiping it. What kind of people were they? You know, you will know you will know them by their fruits. So if these type of people that, you know, raped and pillaged and stole from other people, they're venerating this being, well, what does that then imply about the being?
Right. And I
And
wanted
I guess you can make the. Go ahead.
I wanted to go in more about maybe we could do another video together when we have more time, but about why they were using Jesus as a figurine in this movie. And I don't know if you watched that YouTube video that I sent you about, it was like a video on an advertisement, a real advertisement for like a satanic abortion clinic. And what they
I've
tell
been to
you,
one of those.
what?
I've been to one of those. They're freaking. Some of the stuff I heard about that, it's very bad.
Well, they tell you when you're having the after you take the pill and you're having the abortion to look in a mirror and take all that guilt and everything and put it away into that mirror, and think about doing that to these idols, you know what I mean, on a mass level, and that we are actually creating these archetypes by doing all of that. And
Yeah,
also
that
with the
mirror is
TV, the
horrible.
black mirror, like putting all of our feelings into whatever we're watching.
Yep, especially with sports and movies. Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
It's literally a portal. It just goes right to them, right to where it's supposed to be directed to.
Yeah, and we're a portal, and it's a two-way system.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you want to talk about the Jesus figurine?
Yeah, I mean, to me, you know, I think about it a lot, and do I want to actually be sending all of this guilt and pain to somebody that I adore, you know, like I adore the whole concept of Jesus, and I would never want to put all of my sins and everything onto that deity.
Yeah, that's a good point. Almost like they're trying to corrupt it.
Mm-hmm.
Send it all there. I guess it wouldn't be corruptible even, but maybe just the image here, or the astral embodiment that they constantly use against us, could be taken at. But what were your thoughts on the on why they made him a figurine? I thought that was interesting. If you
Well, I
mentioned
think that
something.
they did that because that's what they're trying to say, is that it's an idol, you know, like this is the image that we've created, and you know what I mean? Like he's stuck in this like, I don't know, I always think of Jesus as like almost being nailed to earth because of what they've done with these rituals and everything. And I know that to me it just doesn't even make sense. Like, this is why I wanted to make another video, but to me it doesn't make sense that he would have gone to hell, had that battle with Satan, and then ascended out of here. To me, this place wouldn't even exist, and why would we still be dealing with everything that we are, you know?
Well, I think the idea makes sense if this is hell, or if this is almost hell. You could say, you know, he battled the belief in Satan, or the worship of Satan here, with the Jews and Yahweh and all that.
Yeah,
Kind of
I
trying
don't
to
know.
wake people up.
I've been wrestling with that a lot, because I feel like what they're doing is just harnessing energy and creating these archetypes in the astral.
Yeah.
And all of that energy is going into something. You know what I mean? So all of that guilt and shame has to be going into something that they're creating, that we are unknowingly. So I think it's like the Antichrist, like it's all going into a certain place. And we think that we're by not living the way that Jesus did and just believing in Jesus, that's creating something that is really bad, in my opinion.
Good point. Yeah, funny you mentioned that because I was just listening to an interview with Nathaniel Gills, and he's a demonologist who has been researching UFO studies and cases, and he's concluded that they're basically demons as well. And he was talking about how this one lady got abducted, but she called out to Jesus. And these beings just stepped into that image and became like not the typical Jesus that we know of, but her understanding of Jesus, how she saw it. And it became like this Nordic looking red haired Jesus.
Yeah.
And they just morphed into that. And somehow they had, I don't know, battled whatever she was afraid of, right? So it's like good cop, bad cop type of thing.
Well, and the whole thing is the astral is not exactly timed to the same it's almost like it's like 10 seconds ahead. So they have your thought that's coming before you even have it. It's very this is why you have to trust yourself only, because you make you make all of these images in your subliminal mind that you're not actually seeing in your mental vision. So you can see different entities that look very familiar and that you might even trust because they did come from you. They came from your mind. And they have all of this, they have everything that you think, you know, like before you're thinking it. So it seems like supernatural and like it's not from you.
Yeah. Another thing I heard is that being vocal, maybe this isn't as possible in the astral realm, but here being vocal actually scares these entities. They can't handle it for some reason. And looking straight at them, like analyzing their form, seems to, because you know if they're based in illusion, you're trying to see through the illusion. You're looking straight at them, it breaks them down.
Yeah.
But something about the vocality of, you know, that's why I've heard like audible prayer is better. You're able to conduct it. You know, not like prayer like you're worshiping, but prayer as in you're trying to connect with the source, with your true essence. Do it audibly. It seems to have a greater effect and keeping these beings at bay as well.
Well, like that video that you posted in the chat, that guy was talking about how when you speak out about this, the Satanists take silence as compliant, as people being compliant. So when you speak out about it, the frequency of your voice is breaking curses from what I have found. And the more that I speak out about what, like my own personal things, the more that the things diminish, you know? So I know from experience that this does work. And I think sending it through the internet, like doing videos or whatever, I think are the best way, even if you're just doing it for yourself, you know?
Yeah, the videos really just help me express my thoughts.
Right.
Collect them all together and put them all in one thing.
Yep.
So yeah, no, that's a great point. And I'm glad we
And
did
it gets
this.
it off your mind, you know. I mean, you have so much that you're thinking. It's not really even about teaching anybody, or you can't teach anybody any of this stuff, but it's more just like showing your sovereignty for me, and also getting my thoughts out.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm glad we do this. I'm glad you did this. It's a great setup.
Me too.
You had all the times really well calculated. So It was really nice.
Thank you. All right. Well, my friend, we will do something together again another day.
Sounds good to me.
It's always
I'm ready
fun.
for it. Yeah, my pleasure.
Okay. Thank you so much. And bye, everyone. Have a good
Bye,
day.
everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.
Bye. Ah.